the chapter The Proposal by Anton Chekhov, a Russian playwright. And what we say, a Russian playwright, and highlighting the theme of, based on the theme, this play that is basically a marriage proposal that we are going to talk about. Unfortunately, how it changed into a heated argument, and somewhere amidst this conversation and the aggression that both the party, that is Lomov, Lomov and the Shubakov, had shown, it seems that uh, in between all this, the marriage was supposed to be tarnished, but fortunately, it was saved. And we had come to know in the story, which begins with Lomov's entry at Shubakov's house, and the curtain rises, and we are in Shubakov's drawing room, where Lomov was warmly and heartily welcomed by Mr. Stefan Shubakov. But he was surprised to notice Lomov in such a formal outfit. He made he made such certain guesses that might be some Lomov is going to have a ball or get together, because the way he was dressed. So these were all assumptions. But upon being asked, Lomov has said just he has simply come to ask Stefan with a request. He had come over there to trouble him with a request, which was misunderstood by Mr. Stefan Shubakov. He thought that this fellow might have come over there for financial help, and he had made his mind that he is not going to help Lomov with a single penny. But finally, the conversation extended, and Lomov was asked to speak straightway rather than going in a roundabout manner, and hence Lomov spoke and broke out the reason he visited um, Shubakov's house. Upon discovering the reason of Lomov's visit, Shubakov was extremely delighted. He was extremely happy, and he was so overwhelmed, and he was speechless. It seems his reactions shows that he was waiting for this moment only. He was waiting for this only. Somewhere it was indicating. Finally, Shivakop, as a reader, we came to know that Lomov has an appeal, a request to Mr. Stefan, and he had come with a marriage proposal for his daughter, that is Shubakov's daughter, Miss Natalia. In excitement, Shubakov went inside to call Natalia and to give this couple some private time. Meanwhile, Lomov was left all alone in the drawing room, where he was making certain assumptions, and he was assuring himself why he should opt Natalia as a partner, and why it's the right time to get married. So he made certain assumptions. He assured himself that Natalia Stepanova is quite, what we say, good looking. She could be excellent housekeeper. She is educated, well educated. So all these were the he was just assuring himself for the reason of assuring himself for upon uh, opting Natalia as a partner. Finally, he too finds that if he wonders about this proposal or this relationship, then he would finally end up in delaying his marriage. And moreover, he was 35, which is already a critical age, and he should get married. He is not keeping well health wise. He is he used to he sorry he become panic most of the time, and he had what we say certain issues with his shoulder. Sometimes he behaved like a lunatic, become crazy. So he had already reached to that critical age. So if not now, then never. Okay. So this is how he assured and found the reason to get married at that time. Finally, he was when he was lost in his thoughts. Natalia enters, and he was surprised to find Lomov over there because she was told by Mr. Uh, Stefan that there was a salesman or a merchant waiting for Natalia, and she was in her neglige, that is the nightgown. So she asked Lomov to excuse her for her attire. She offered Lomov um, lunch, and she even asked him to be comfortable. And she too was quite curious to see Lomov in that attire, in that outfit. Okay, I think we had done this only. Who was reading?
Ma'am, me and Ayush.
Me and Ayush. Was that me?
Saad.
Ma'am Saad
Sad
and
and Ayush.
Ayush.
Yeah. Let us continue. From where, Sad?
Ma'am from UC. Honored. Ma'am
Page number,
from
Betty.
page number 146.
156,
46.
146. Okay. Okay, understood. So Natalia was curious to know why Lumov was dressed so well, and if he was going to a ball. And though she complimented him for his look, but still she was curious. Now let's see how Lomov expresses his uh, thoughts in front of Natalia. If there will be any issue, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask me. Okay, shall we go with Saad and Ayush, and then we will continue with another reader afterwards. Yeah, start with it. Page number 146, Lomov's dialogue, second last dialogue of Lomov.
UC. Honored. Natalia Stepanovna. The fact is, I have made up my mind to ask you to hear me out. Of course, you'll be surprised and perhaps even angry, but uh, it's awfully cold.
What's the matter? Well,
I shall try to be brief. You must know, honored Natalia Stepanovna, that I have long, since my childhood, in fact, had the privilege of knowing your family, my late aunt and her husband, from whom, as you know, I inherited my land, always had the greatest respect for your father and your late mother. The Lomovs and the Chubkovs have always had the most friendly and I might almost say the most affectionate regard for each other. And as you know, my land is a near neighbor of yours. You will remember that my oxen meadows touch your birch woods.
Okay, just a second, dear. Now listen. Once again, Lomov was going in a roundabout manner. Why? Because he was extremely excited. he was nervous to reveal the reason of his visit in front of Natalia. He, being Lomov was quite, what we say, uh, he was talking to Natalia very respectfully and even warns Natalia that she could be surprised or even angry upon hearing the reason of his visit to her house. And then he says he feels strangely cold. Why he was feeling strangely cold? Because he was nervous. Then finally, Lomo was trying to brief in his approach. He was trying to brief the reason of his visit, again going in a roundabout manner. He begins by recalling the good relationship between the Lomovs and the Shubakovs. He is trying to go reach to the right point, that is the proposal one, but unfortunately he was so nervous that he couldn't go with this. He couldn't directly propose Natalia, hence he was going in a roundabout manner. He says that um, he recalls and highlights that both the family, they really are very good to each other, and his late aunt and her husband respected Natalia's parents a lot. He even mentioned that their lands are neighbors to each other. They are not only good neighbors, even their lands are also the neighbors to each other. And his oxen meadows, underline this, his oxen meadows touches their birchwood. What is that oxen meadows? Oxen meadows is the animal grassland. Okay, and here birchwood refers to birchwood, actually the a wood of birch tree. Your forest, you can say that, a land
And
with
which is a type of
birch
tree.
tree. Yeah, yeah, birch is a kind of a tree. That's what I said, birch tree. And oxen meadows, a land full of grass for animals to graze. Okay, so just like a grazing land. So according to Lomov, listen carefully, dear. According to Lomov, Natalia's family and his family, they are good neighbors, and they had this relationship, this healthy relationship since long, since their forefathers and fathers. And even he highlights that not only they are neighbors, even their lands are also neighbors to each other. Their oxen meadows, that is Lomov's oxen meadows, touches Natalia's virtue. And this is the reason of the argument, dear. Let's see next what happened. What Natalia says. Yeah, Vijay.
Excuse me interrupting you. You say, my oxen meadows, but are they yours?
Yes, mine.
What are you talking about? Oxen meadows are ours, not yours.
No, mine, honored Natalia Stepanovna.
Well, I never knew that before. How do you make that out?
How? I'm speaking of those oxen meadows which are wedged in between your birch woods and the burnt marsh.
Yes, yes, they're ours.
No, you're mistaken, honored Natalia Stepanovna. They are mine.
Just think, Ivan Vasilyevich, how long have they been yours?
How long? As long as I can remember.
Really? You won't get me to believe that.
But you can see from the documents, honored Natalia Stepanovna, oxen
Okay, just a
meadows.
second. Just a second. Sorry to interrupt. This Lomov dialogue is quite lengthy enough. Just to understand this one. So finally, it's a very simple conversation where Lomov and Natalia, who actually was supposed to Lomov, who actually had come to propose Natalia for marriage, unfortunately landed into an heated argument. And somewhere amidst this conversation, it seems they had forgotten the reason. Lomov has forgotten the reason of his visit. So finally, Lomov, who finds that they are a good neighbor and their lands are also in touch with each other. So when he said that Oxen Meadows belongs to him, I mean their family, Natalia questions the integrity. She asked Lomov, how can he claim Oxen Meadows to be there when it actually belonged to Shubakov? Lomov very respectfully he exclaims out, he says that no, it belongs to them, and he's talking about the same oxen meadows uh, which is wedged, okay, wedged between the birchwood and the burnt marsh. The birchwood, understood, and burnt marsh is that particular place they are talking about. So the oxen meadows is between. So wedged here means crushed over. Okay, it is between birchwood and burnt marsh. Lumov says that the birchwood and the burnt marsh belong to Natalia, but he says that in between there lies a land, docks, and meadows which belong to Lumov's family. Natalia says yes, she too was talking about the same oxen meadows, but it belongs to their family. But Lomov was un- uh, he is stubborn at his. He is ready to show documentations because he knew that the meadows belong to their family. Unfortunately, Natalia is not ready to accept it. We don't know who is correct right now. We don't know if Lomov is or Natalia, because the land they were talking about was a disputed land, but how, whether it was resolved or not, let's find out what Lomov says. Yes.
But you can see from the documents, honored Natalia Stepanovna, Oxen Meadows, it's true, were once the subject of dispute, but now everybody knows that they are mine. There's nothing to argue about. You see, my aunt's grandmother gave the free use of these meadows in perpetuity to the peasants of your father's grandfather, in return for which they were to make bricks for her. The peasants belonging to your father's grandfather had the free use of the meadows for 40 years and had got into the habit of regarding them as their own when it happened that.
Okay. Just a second. So it is very important why Lomo feels the land is there. So he mentions that he has some proof. He has certain proof that the land belongs to him. He even highlights that once oxen meadows were a disputed property, no doubt, but the issue had been resolved and now it belongs to them. Now, he even goes back into their past relations in the history and specifies that his aunt's grandmother, try to understand, his means Lomov's grandmother had given the free use of the oxen meadows in perpetuity to the peasants of Natalia's father's grandfather. According to him, it was given for 40 years. That is giving a land on lease for 40 years. And now peasants got in habit of regarding it as their own. And now these peasants of Natalia's or what we say, the Natalia's family, they are in habit of calling their own land. But according to documentation, the land belongs to Lumos, and yes, it was once a disputed property, but the problem was resolved then only. And according to documentation, this land was given to Natalia's family for 40 years on lease, and now working on that land since 40 years, now for 40 years, and now they are in a habit of uh, calling this meadows to be there, according to Lomov. Okay, understood, dear? Are you understanding, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Very good. At least response. Okay, Natalia, let's see what happened.
No, it isn't at all like that. Both grandfather and great grandfather reckoned that their land extended to Burnt Marsh, which means that Oxen Meadows were ours. I don't see what there is to argue about. It's simply silly.
I'll show you the documents, Natalia Stepanovna.
No, you're simply joking or making fun of me. What a surprise! We've had the land for nearly 300 years, and then we're suddenly told that it isn't ours. Ivan Vasilievich, I can hardly believe my own ears. These meadows aren't worth much to me. They only come to 5 decisions and are worth perhaps 300 rubles. But I can't stand unfairness. Say what you will, I can't stand unfairness.
Hear me out, I implore you. The peasants of your father's grandfather, as I have already had the honor of explaining to you, used to bake bricks for my aunt's grandmother. Now my aunt's grandmother wishing to make them a pleasant.
Okay. Implore here means to beg, to request. So what happened? Lumov gave the verdict. He showed the document, means he told about the documentations. But Natalia, she disagrees all. Because according to her, as per knew, she had heard from her grandfather and great grandfather that their land extended till the burnt marsh. Means it will take Birchwood also, Oxen Meadows also, and the burnt marsh also. Because according to what she had heard from her father and grandfather, she completely trusted them and does not see any point in arguing about its ownership. But Lomov insisted on showing her the proof. Natalia, simply she is not ready to. She thinks of it as some kind of joke because she believes that the land is there since past 300 years, and now someone claims it to be his property all of a sudden. Although the land isn't much worth, only around 300 rubles, but Natalia is highly disappointed by the unfairness shown by Lomov. Lomov continuously implored, he continuously begged Natalia to at least listen what he was trying to say. He mentions that her great grandfather's peasant used to bake bricks on his aunt's grandmother for his aunt's grandmother. And as he continued, he was continuously interrupted by Natalia. Natalia was not ready to listen. Okay, so let's see what happened. What Natalia says in cartoon. Yes, continue with it.
I can't make head or tail of all this about aunts and grandfathers and grandmothers. The meadows are ours, that's all.
Mine.
Ours. You can go on proving it for 2 days on end. You can go and put on 15 dress jackets, but I tell you they're ours. Ours, ours. I don't want anything of yours, and I don't want to give up anything of mine. So there.
Natalia Stepanovna, I don't want the meadows, but I am acting on principle. If you like, I'll make you a present of them.
I can make you a present of them myself, because they're mine. Your behavior, Ivan Vasilievich, is strange, to say the least. Up to this, we have always thought of you as a good neighbor, a friend. Last year, we lent you our threshing machine, although on that account, we had to put off our own threshing till November. But you behaved to us as if we were gypsies, giving me and my own land indeed. No, really, that's not at all neighborly. In my opinion, it's even impudent, if you want to know.
Then you make out that I am a land grabber? Madam, never in my life have I grabbed anybody else's land, and I shan't allow anybody to accuse me of having done so. Oxen meadows are mine.
Okay. Now, very simple. Natalia, she is stubborn now. She is not ready to listen what Lomov says, and Lomov, somewhere he is not ready to part the things which belongs to him. So he clarifies that the oxen meadows. Sorry, one dialogue was there that Natalia says, "Ask you can go on proving it for 2 days on end. You can go and put on 15 red jackets. What is that? You can go. What is the use of using this 15 red jackets? Actually, Natalia, she means that she won't come under the influence of him being well dressed. She means Lomov has was so well dressed, but Natalia is not going to come under his influence. So what happened? Natalia disagree and tells him that he can do anything to prove his theory, his point, or wear 15 red jackets, but she will never accept the fact that the oxen meadows are his. Okay, she clarifies that she wants nothing from him and doesn't intend on giving anything that is her. The things that belong to her, she is not going to part. And if it doesn't belong to her, and if it's Lomov, then he can claim for. But oxen meadows are there. Lomov clarifies that even he doesn't value the oxen meadows which much, but he is just being fair and acting on principles. He is acting on principles, and he even offered to make a present of the meadows to her. He is ready to give a present. But Natalia finds it to be quite what we say, the offer to be quite offensive because she felt that the things which doesn't belong to Lomov, how can he gift? How can offer it as a gift? Natalia offers to make a present of Oxen Meadows by herself because she feels that this property belongs to her. She is shocked at Lomov's behavior. She was surprised to see Lomov acting so strangely. And rather, she said that, sorry, and also she further added on that Lomov was not behaving friendly. They are not good neighbors. And Lomov should recall that how Natalia's family had supported Lomov when they needed their threshing machine. It was Natalia's family only who offered him the threshing machine, even they meant delaying their own process. And now Lomov was acting very disrespectfully. At this, Lomov misunderstood this, and he felt that he was being called land grabber. He takes it as if Natalia is accusing him being a land grabber. He gets offended of it, and while sipping some water, he's still stuck to the point that it belongs to them. Okay, continue with it. Are you understanding? Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Any words, any meanings, new terms? Okay, fine. Carry on, Natalia and Lomov.
It's not true. They are ours.
Mine.
It's not true. I'll prove it. I'll send my moors out to the meadows this very day.
What?
My moors will be there this very day.
I'll give it to them in the neck.
You dare.
Oxen meadows are mine. You understand? Mine.
He
Please.
clutches his. He clutches at his heart. Actually, if you do remember, Lomov too admitted that what we say, at times he starts beating very rapidly because of that palpitations and all. So what happens? Till this fellow, these what we say, Lomov and Natalia were having this heated argument, and even Natalia, she says that she is going to send her movers. Okay, so who are movers? Movers are actually the person who cut grasses. So as it's a grassland and grazing land for animals, and moreover, according to Natalia, it belongs to her only, so she can do whatever she likes. So she said that she is going to send her men to cut the grasses. To this, Lomov says that he is going to kick them out. Natalia wants him not to do that, but and Lomov gets aggressive and mention in a very high tone that oxen meadows are mine. They are his only, but Natalia is no. Please don't shout. Yes,
Please
yeah,
don't.
Natalia.
You can shout yourself hoarse in your own house. But here, I must ask you to restrain yourself.
If it wasn't, madam, for this awful, excruciating palpitation, if my whole inside wasn't upset, I had talked to you in a different way. Oxen
In a
meadows are
different
mine.
way. In a different way. So Lomov, when Natalia says that Lomov should control himself and he should behave and should not shout because he was not in his house, he was at Natalia's home. Even at this, Lomov, he makes a mention of his extremely painful increased heart rate and blames it for his tone. And even in such a pain, he doesn't stop claiming the oxen meadows. Okay. Yes, let's see what happens. Carry on, Vijay.
Ours.
Mine,
Ours.
mine.
Enter Shabakov. So continuously, uh, on hearing both of them fight, because Shubakov had given some space to this couple that is Lomov and Natalia, to talk in privately, know each other well, better, because they are going to tie knot. But and moreover, don't forget Natalia. She didn't know what was happening. She didn't know. Okay, she didn't know. Sorry, she didn't know the reason of Lomov's visit. So she was acting very rude to Lomov, and hearing this conversation and aggression, who enters? Shubakov. Shubakov enters. Now he thought of the situation is going to be fine enough. They are going to have a conversation, but finding this fellow fighting like cats and dogs, he too was surprised. Okay, now let's change the readers. Who wants to become Shubhakam? Those who didn't read, dear. Those who didn't read. And listen, I am marking the names also. I'm just jotting down the names who are reading in the class, because my assessment is will be based on the uh, what we say, the conversations and your involvement in the class.
Dhruv took
Yeah, who
Shubakov
wants to
one
become
second.
Shubhakam?
Ma'am, he had become Shubakov.
Sarvesh has already become. Yes, I know.
Ma'am, Dhruv also.
Dhruv, I know. Dhruv, Dharvesh, Saad, Ayush, Gautam. They had read. And Khushi. I do remember. Yeah, Ritik. Ritik.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So Mr. Shabakov. Okay. Who else? Tushar? Lomo? 2 minutes left only, dear. Fast, fast, fast.
Ma'am, Ibad wants to read.
Ibad wants to read. Yeah, Ibad, Lomo. Ibad. Yes, take up Ibad. I don't think he is. Oh my God, it's already 33. Ritik starts, Shubakov and Tushar Lomov. And Ayush, there is only one dialogue of Natalia now. You can go with. Tushar is
What's the
having some
matter?
issue. Tushar is having some issue. Sarthak, can you go with Lomov?
Ma'am, we can start the day after tomorrow itself now, ma'am, because this is the start of
It's
a new
already
series.
11:34. That's what I am saying. 2 minutes left only. Okay, leave it there. Give a tick mark over there, and we can start the next phase. That is the entry of Shubakov the next very day, because it will just take the charm out of the story. Half of the dialogues will be read today, so it's better we should go with. So till now, we came to know that the pair Shobakov, who had kept this, who gave some scope to this couple to have a conversation, and Natalia should know and understand. Yes, mute yourself, everybody. Natalia should know Lomov well, and they can go with their marriage relations. But unfortunately, because of this property and these fellow landed into a argument, which was not expected. Okay, so we are going to read from this page number 149, where Shobakov enters, and let's see how he reacts. Whether he tried to resolve the issue, being a sensible fellow, or he just simply inflamed the argument, or he tried to settle down the situation. Because if you do remember, he was overexcited. He was overexcited for this relation. Okay, so dear, I just end up. So day after tomorrow, that is Thursday, we are going to continue with this. And the readers, I'm declaring now itself Ritik Jha, Sarthak, and Ibad. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So God bless. Take care of yourself. Read it till I taught you. And if there is any issue, feel free to ask me day after tomorrow. Okay. Take care of yourself, dear.
Thank you,
bless.
ma'am.
Thank you, children. Thank you. God bless.
Hi guys, welcome back